Alright, hey everybody, welcome to another episode of TEW Local Global 1987. We're back with some GCW. Let's get straight into Fuel. Starting us off, we've got DDP, who will be competing in the Fatal 4-Way at March Massacre for the #1 contendership to the World Championship. In the ring, he's cutting a promo, and Steve Austin and Dustin Rhodes of the Syndicate come out, and tonight, Dustin Rhodes will face off against DDP in our main event. Now, I think it was Quinn Sanders, he wanted Dustin, because of his comments on Ray and Chris Benoit, he wanted them to lose to the people he was talking shit about. Unfortunately, on Fuel, Dustin is all taken up until March Massacre, so I'm going to do the matches on Saturday Night's Wrestling. So, maybe save face for Dustin a little bit, but still teach him a lesson, and avoid changing the plans for the upcoming weeks. Harlem Heat versus the Dynamic Dudes, and Harlem Heat get the victory when Booker pinned Johnny Ace. And we're in the Santa Barbara Event Center, so this is a region we haven't toured before, so the results might be a little more off than usual. We've got the Flock in the ring, and Perry Saturn is pissed that none of them won the Battle Royal for him last week, and he ends up hitting Hammer with the Death Valley Driver. We've got an interview with Intercontinental Champion Chris Benoit, and he introduces his new manager, Teddy Long. So, bit of vengeance at Chris Jericho right there as we continue the feud. Outlaw Wyndham versus Disco Inferno is up next, and Outlaw Wyndham gets the victory with a pump handle slam after interference from Outlaw Duncombe. So, Disco Dudes versus the Outlaws, still continuing their feud. We've got the Nation of Domination cutting a promo, and the Degenerates come out, and they reveal their secret weapon. Their new enforcer, Chyna, has made her GCW debut, and she is siding with Triple H, Billy Gunn, and Road Dogg. And that sets up a match right now, D'Lo and Kama versus Billy Gunn and Road Dogg. And unsurprisingly, Billy Gunn and Road Dogg get the victory when Billy hit D'Lo with a Famasser. So gets a 58. Next up, we've got a Brian Pillman promo. He's wired. He is just, he's doing his lunatic thing. And he says that he'll do anything to be champion again. So even though Pillman's a babyface, right now he's like tapping into the heel side. He's more of a tweener in our company. You can't really, like, in a TW, there's only face and heel, really. You can do neither, but I like having, if I have a face, I like it being, if I have a tweener, I like it being face. So Brian Pillman right now would probably be a tweener, which means he's both face and heel, if you're unfamiliar with the term. 85, we've got a singles match next, Dude Love versus Mortis, continuing the Dude Love versus Undertaker feud, and Dude Love gets the victory in 13:33. Great chemistry for the two. Mortis pulling a 69 while Dude Love had an 85. Great match. And after the match, Undertaker and Dude Love brawl. And our main event did horrible. Diamond Dallas Page defeats Dustin Rhodes in 16:31 with a diamond cutter. And during the match, Steve Austin accidentally hit Dustin, costing him the match. So it gets a 62. And yeah, this was horrible. Horrible. I should have put the Dude Love Mortis match in the main event. That's on me. Next week's show should be a way better main event. We won't lose popularity, for sure. Take its time. Yeah. Size, yeah, we lost a little bit of popularity off of that, but that's fine. It's not the end of the world. I think we were in the southwest. Yeah, we were in the southwest. So I guess we're gonna go to the Tri-State next show, and Johnny Ace is pissed that I didn't protect him, even though he lost to Booker T fair and square. I'm not giving you more than this. All right, be pissed. I don't care. You're not staying with the company for long anyway. When his deal comes up, I'm probably not going to resign him. He's got a year and 4 months, so I guess he's got time. But anyway, I'm going to go book Saturday Night's Wrestling. Dustin is going to lose on both nights. And then we're going to go to Fuel and book our go-home show for March Massacre. Let's go. All right, we are here. Final show until March Massacre. We're starting off with Steve Austin and Dustin Rhodes arguing in the ring with Pillman and DDP coming out. It's announced that these two teams will face off tonight. These guys versus these guys. All right. The Rock versus Road Dogg is our opening contest, and The Rock gets the victory. We've got a brawl afterwards, Nation Domination brawl with the Degenerates, and it's announced that Triple H will face Farouk, the two leaders, at March Massacre. We've got an Eddie Guerrero promo because I realized I forgot to book the rematch last week, so we're having the rematch tonight. And Eddie Guerrero, once again the Cruiserweight Champion, defeats Billy Kidman, and afterwards he beats him down. So I guess we're going to have a rematch of these two once again at March Massacre. I'm just marking down the changes. All right. Then we've got Chris Jericho versus Lance Storm, and Chris Jericho gets the victory over Lance Storm in 13-19. Afterwards, he beats him down, and Chris Benoit ends up making the save for Lance Storm. We've got Undertaker, Sinister Minister, and Mortis cutting a promo, and Dude Love comes out to talk some shit. Booker T is found backstage, the TV champion. He is injured. Somebody took him out. Now, we don't know who, but Booker T is injured. 88. And we get our main event. Brian Pillman and Diamond Dallas Page defeat Steve Austin and Dustin Rhodes when DDP pinned the former world champion Steve Austin with a fast roll-up. DDP's getting better. So gets an 84, and afterwards DDP and Brian Pillman celebrate. Then Pillman turns him around, hits him with the DDT, and leaves him laying. We've got the Fatal 4-Way in the main event of March Massacre. DDP, Brian Pillman, Steve Austin, and Dustin Rhodes. 87. We made up for our mistake of having a shit card last time. DDP versus Dustin is not the money match that it can be in just a few months when DDP is a much bigger star. And that's it for Fuel. Now let's get into March Massacre. Alright, we are here, ladies and gentlemen. March Massacre, GCW. And Jesse Ventura is opening the show, and he promises that either Austin or Dustin will win the main event tonight and go on to face Sting for the World Championship at a future date. So it gets a 100 to open our show. I just needed a good angle to start the show, and that's what we came up with. Alright, so let me get my piece of paper. Open it at the right page so I know what matches are on the show. So, our first off is Triple H versus Farouk. So put your bets down. And it's Triple H getting the victory over Farouk after Chyna ran in and attacked him. So gets a 74, and afterwards, The Rock beats down Triple H. So these two might be starting a feud. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. Next up, I believe, is the tag team title matches. Tag team title match. The Texas Outlaws, or the Southern Outlaws, sorry, versus the Disco Dudes. Yep. So it gets a 65. Southern Outlaws defeat the Disco Dudes with a full Nelson Slam from Outlaw Duncum on Disco Inferno. And gets a 65. That's not too bad. Outlaw Duncum and Outlaw Wyndham getting over. They're slowly getting up there. So, still the tag team champions. As we move on with the show, we got an interview with Stevie Ray, and he says that he'll defend the television championship for Booker T while he is nursing his injuries that he received last Fuel. We don't know how he got those injuries, but we'll have to wait and see for that as well. So Stevie Ray defends the TV title next against Chris Candido, and I can't actually put that it's a title defense because then it would put Stevie as a champion when he's not really the champion. But if somebody beats Stevie for the title, then I will put the title on the line and award the person the title. So it gets a 62. It's not too bad. Alright, let's see what's next. Next up, I believe, is the Cruiserweight Championship. Billy Kidman versus Eddie Guerrero. It gets a 74. Eddie Guerrero retains the Cruiserweight Championship after interference from Juventud Guerrera, Super Colo, and Hector Garza. Makes offense number 1 of the Cruiserweight Championship, which leads to our post-match angle where Juventud Guerrera, Hector Garza, Super Colo, and Eddie Guerrero all beat down Billy Kidman, and that's going to turn Juventud Guerrera heel. That's going to turn Hector Garza heel. And this is the formation of a new stable in GCW, which Eddie will acknowledge in next episode. In the next episode, 38. So we've got 3 more matches. We've got the Dude Love Undertaker match, which is next. We've got the Intercontinental title match, and we've got the main event. The Dude Love versus Undertaker ends with an 83. The Undertaker gets a victory over Dude Love with a choke slam. So Dude Love with an 82, Undertaker with an 80, and afterwards the Undertaker destroys Dude Love, leaves him laying, and this is going to be a write-off for Dude Love, write-off for Mick Foley. For the time being, he's not going to be appearing on GCW television. The Undertaker then chokeslams the Sinister Minister, and Mortis hits them with tombstones. And we introduce the Undertaker's new manager, Paul Bearer. It gets a 67. Not too shabby. But now we've got the Intercontinental Championship match, Chris Jericho versus Chris Benoit. Oh, never mind. I forgot I have an interview with Sting. Gene Okerlund interviews Sting on who will be his next challenger, and he does his best to put over Dustin Rhodes, Steve Austin, Brian Pillman, and Diamond Dallas Page into giving him a worthy challenger. You know, he says Austin is one hell of a competitor. He's faced him before, but at the end, Sting was the man with his arm raised. Brian Pillman, another fantastic competitor, but once again, who ended Brian Pillman's 2-year streak with the title? That's right, it was the icon himself, Sting, the Vigilante, who defeated Dustin Rhodes on multiple occasions. It was Sting and Diamond Dallas Page while you were facing against the television champion and the Intercontinental champion. I was carrying the company on my back. So it doesn't matter who is going to be facing Sting, because at the end of the day, I will have my arm raised. And that's it. So it gets an 84. But first, the Intercontinental Championship match, Chris Benoit versus Chris Jericho. And Benoit retains the IC title after Lance Storm attacked Chris Jericho. More interference on this card. And confusingly, Chris Benoit and Teddy Long are on different sides of the face heel. Teddy Long should be a face, so I guess I didn't turn him face, but he should be face, so I'm going to fix that in a second. Gets an 89. And that's going to leave us to our main event match. Diamond Dallas Page, Steve Austin, Dustin Rhodes, and Brian Pillman. Fatal 4-way for the #1 contendership to the World Championship. 78. That's unfortunate. In a good match, Diamond Dallas Page defeats Brian Pillman, Dustin Rhodes, and Steve Austin when Diamond Dallas Page defeated Dustin Rhodes with a diamond cutter. So unfortunately, DDP only gets a 48, so maybe I pushed him a little bit too early. Alright, and he seemed off his game. That did not help things. So 78, and we end the show with Sting shaking DDP's hand. Could have been worse. You know what? Could have been worse. Not the best card we've had, but could have been worse for sure. So Steve Austin, Brian Pillman, and The Undertaker. Alright. So did we make money? So Hercules Hernandez is now here. Greg Valentine's now here. We're going to use those guys to make DDP really popular. Outlaw Wyndham is pretty good in the ring. You should push him. He's going to get pushed, Triple H. Don't worry. Both Outlaws are getting different reviews, I suppose would be the word. March Massacre got a .04 TV rating and a .86 buy rate. And we did better than WrestleMania. We're gonna check WrestleMania before we end today's episode. And Steve Austin is furious because he put over Diamond Dallas Page. I'm gonna fix the Austin thing right now. DDP, he's getting over. He's getting up there. And if those church bells don't stop ringing, I'm gonna throw a fit. So let's fix Steve Austin's morale. So we're going to give him... You know what? He did the right thing. He's pissed about it, but he still put over Diamond Dallas Page. Oh, he has fully grown hair. Oh. Should probably fix that. It's okay. We're going to give him a little bit of consolation. We're going to give him $20,000. Hopefully... Okay, he's annoyed now. So I didn't give him enough. 25K. There you go. Gave you $45,000. You better be happy. You little piece of shit. No, I'm just kidding. So we've got Eddie Guerrero as a Cruiserweight Champion. Chris Benoit as the Intercontinental Champion. Booker T is still the Television Champion. Sting is the World Champion. And the Outlaws are the Tag Team Champions. Thank you guys for watching this episode of GCW. Make sure to like if you like this video. Subscribe if you want more. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.